Hello, good day, wonderful people. You're welcome back once again to my channel. How are you doing? I'm very fine. I'm doing wonderfully well. Thank you for your time. Thank you for always. Thank you for sharing my video. Thank you for liking the video. I really appreciate you. Without you, there is no me. If you are not watching, if you are not liking it, what can I do? Yeah, how are you raising your kids? That is what I bring to you this morning. How are you raising your kids? Are you raising godly kids? Are you just abandoning your kids anyhow? I know you're a working mother, you are a working father, but that doesn't mean you should just abandon your kids anyhow. That doesn't mean you shouldn't raise them in a normal standard. That doesn't mean you shouldn't look after them. Have time for your children. Create time. Out of no time, make time for them. They are your future. They are your glory of tomorrow. If you don't look after your kids, if you don't raise them in a good way, who is going to do that for you? Do you expect your neighbor to raise your kids for you? Do you expect your I don't know, who do you think will raise them for you? You are the one to raise your kids. You have to raise them by yourself. Are you living a good life yourself? Were you raised in a good way? If you are raised in a good way, why don't you want to raise your own kids in a normal way? You say, okay, I'm working, I don't have time for my kids. I do 9 to 5 job. Before I get home, my kids are already asleep. No. Create time, make time out of no time. Your weekend is there. Before you leave home, make sure you impact a good knowledge into them. Make sure you impact something great, wonderful thing, a godly thing into them, so that when they grow up, you wouldn't be guilty of them. You wouldn't be guilty. You wouldn't let your children be talking bad about you, that this is how my mom or my dad raised me. You wouldn't want them to be wayward. You wouldn't want them to go astray. You wouldn't want them to do something that you will not like. Raise them in a good way. Raise them in a standard way. Okay, if you say you have time for your kids, you are raising them. I hope you are not tolerating their excesses. You know, kids are very difficult to raise, especially when they are in their teens, when they are teenagers. They are not easy to raise at all. Don't tolerate their excesses at all. Don't give them 100% of freedom. Don't give them 100% freedom. I see some parents, they will allow their kids to do whatever they want to do. No, it shouldn't be like that. When they grow up doing whatever thing they want to do, when they grow up like you want to correct them for anything, they wouldn't want to be corrected. They will remind you that, mom, dad, you remember, you always allow me do this, you always allow me do that. Then by that time, there is nothing you can say that they will listen to you. When they are still very young, when you can still curb them of their bad behaviors, please don't allow them to don't indulge them in any way. Don't give them that too much freedom. This life now, the way it's turning, so we don't even seem to understand it anymore. Don't tolerate them too much. Don't give them too much freedom. Don't allow them to have their way always. Make sure whatever you see that probably they are doing you don't like, and you know in future it can lead them astray. It's better you curb it now. It's better you stop it now. It's better you stop them now. Give them responsibility also. Give your children responsibility. I see some parents as old as the kids, they can't wash the dishes, they can't do their laundry. They will be helping them out. They'll be like tolerating them. No, you wouldn't want them to grow older. Then when you can't do it and ask them to do it, they will tell you, mom, you have to do it yourself. We are in a generation whereby the kids don't no longer want to listen to the parents. Don't tolerate them. Raise them in a good standard. Some of us back in 90s, in 80s, the way our parents raised us, that is why we are benefiting from it now. That is why we are enjoying ourselves now. That is why we are living good life now. They raise us in high standard. They don't tolerate our nonsense. They give it to us back the way we bring to them. So also let us do it. That doesn't mean you should be strict with your kids, you should be beating them always, or you should send them to the farm to cut firewood or do, hard labor. No, that is not what I'm talking about. That is not what I'm talking about. When you know your child is rude to you in the house, probably is busy on the phone all through, you seize the phone from him or her. Seize the phone. When you take away the phone, take away that thing that makes your child not to listen to you. Take it away from them. That will make them to be submissive to you. That will make them know that, oh, mom, don't play. Dad is not joking at all. Please, I'm begging you, my people, let your children turn in a good way. Let your children, if you are a Muslim, train them the way of the Lord, in the way of the Lord. If you are a Christian, train them in your way. Don't let them just live their life like they are nobody. Don't let them live their life like, you will see, you go out now, you see a 7-year-old child smoking weed, smoking dangerous things out there, drinking. Imagine. And some of the parents don't even know about that. When you go at the back of buildings, you see kids doing all sort of rubbish things. Their parents don't know. Their parents don't know. So please impart good knowledge into your kids. Raise them in a good way. Create time for them. Let them enjoy you. Give them a little bit of freedom. Don't make sure they don't have 100% of freedom that will make them to misbehave anytime outside. Please, I beg you, and I believe you can do that as a parent. You want to see your children in future being a good person. You want to see them, you want them to make you proud. You want your children to make you proud. Do the needful. Do the right thing to them. And I believe the Lord will help you. Please continue to share my video. Continue to like and do comment as well. We'll see some other time. Have a good day.